guest that you'd like to bring
Yeah,
up?
we can bring up Michael Brand, who's in the movie here.
Yeah, Michael. I'm going to just start with a couple quick questions for you, and then we'll open it up to the audience. So I have to ask the obvious question. So are you, any of you from the region, from the southern Louisiana region?
No, sorry, yeah.
So how did you get involved with this project?
Well, like a lot of things in life and filmmaking is, serendipity. Jeff and I were traveling around many years ago with another film, offbeat environmental documentary on the Salton Sea, and a local Cajun programmer was kind of telling us about these giant rats, and it was kind of one of those what the fuck moments, like, no, that can't exist. And so Jeff and I kind of played around with the idea of doing a short documentary for a while, but we kind of tabled it, and we've been longtime friends with Quinn, and Quinn was in Louisiana.
Yeah, I had a friend who was in charge of eradicating them around the Lake Pontchartrain area, right? And so she was describing them to me, and I had never heard of one. And she was like, "Yeah, they're turning them into coats and food, and they're eating them." And I just kept I just kept seeing that there could be so many different people that were involved in this thing, that were connected through this animal. So we all kind of came together in San Francisco, with both wanting to work on a project like that.
And I think all three of us have just an affection for quirky documentaries. Those are the sorts of films that we like to see, and the ones that we want to make.
And can you talk a little bit about the process of finding those people to, the subjects for the film? Like, there's obviously a lot going on, so how did you sort of determine who you're going to be following, which stories you're going to be telling?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a process that just involved a lot of traveling down in Louisiana, and I mean, I think the great adventure of this film was it was just driving around in the bayous and talking to people and hanging out and being in the bars and those nutria tail collection sites are great, like hubs for meeting nutria hunters, as you can imagine. But,
Yeah, we found a lot of people at those places. And the thing about Louisiana is just people are very willing to talk, and so, especially at the nutria collection site, it's kind of a who got the most tails that day and everything. So, yeah, so people are amazingly open, and that was really a big asset. And especially Thomas, the main character in the film, he's just so amazing and cooperative, and he doesn't really care that we were doing a movie about him. He's just like, okay, you're filming me. It's more like, I think he tells his tale and he loves to be heard, and so it was wonderful to work with him because he was like the perfect subject in a way.
And Michael Baran, we saw, I think it was like an internet advertisement or something came across the transom of like, this person does. We'll get rid of your nutria if you have a nutria problem and stuff. And we're like, and then I called you, and that first conversation, you're like, let me tell you what's going to happen. Someone's going to be harassing us trying to get the nutria out of the traps. They're going to eat all these different things, and they all came true.
And so what did you think when they contacted you? Like, have you been asked to do anything like this before? What was any hesitation on being part of this?
Well, no hesitation at all. I'm a bit of an attention hog, so I didn't have a problem with that. And these guys were pretty amazing. When Quinn first talked to me on the phone, I was very intrigued that they'd be even interested in nutria. I grew up with it my whole life, and it's always been a weird thing, but they've really convinced me that, this was going to be done. And so their vision and their tenacity of 4 years of doing this, I mean, hats off to you guys.
I remember that when we had filmed the kind of nighttime scene with them, and I remember he would give us a call a couple months later. He's like, I got this contract for a golf course, He's like, you want to come out with me in the morning? And, next you see this, this nutria being chased around by the dog, and that was quite a wild experience.